Cultural differences concerning meetings.
As a salesman with a big German company, I travel a lot around the world. It always amazes me to find out how differently people from other parts of the world conduct their business activities. Recently, I went to the United States for a business meeting and had a very interesting experience. There were 3 guests to the meeting: Mr. John Page, Mr. Pam Brewer, and me. I had prepared everything thoroughly and was looking forward to the presentation. I had all the relevant material to hand, including slides, and I had some brochures ready to hand out. The presentation was due to start at 10 o'clock. Well, I was there in plenty of time, but the audience chatted among themselves and didn't want to sit down. When Mr. Page said good morning to everybody and thanks to them for being there on time for the meeting, I had thought it was a signal that the meeting was about to begin. But it wasn't, and he moved on to talk about how Mr. Pam Brewer hated flying and what a fortune Mr. Brewer's psychiatrist had earned from his illness. Mr. Brewer said that even a 2-hour flight could be a big trouble to him, and Mr. Page comforted him that 2 hours could be a long time if one asked his golf partner. I was glad he decided to stop carrying on about his golf partner and returned to the meeting finally. It must have been at 10:15 before I could start. I guess that German punctuality and American punctuality aren't quite the same thing. Then Mr. Page introduced me. I was a bit surprised that I was expected to use first names. When we come over from Germany, it takes us a while to get used to using first names. Back home, we address our neighbor by his surname, even if he has lived next door for years. I keep forgetting how informal the Americans are. And then Mr. Page started joking about it again with his colleagues. Anyway, I was just about to get started with my first point, but then there was another interruption. Instead of asking about the product, Mr. Page seemed very interested in asking about Hanover, the place I came from, and telling me about his wife's holiday adventures there. When I was finally allowed to start, everyone listened very politely. The talk went very well, and I learned a lot about the American way of conducting meetings.